joined today by Allorim of Zeus Gaming. Allorim, would you kind of want to maybe just let the audience, for those who don't know, kind of how you kind of got into League and how you have kind of gotten involved with Zeus Gaming?
Well, if we're going back to when I started with League, all the way back, it was when I was in high school. I think I must have been around 15 or 16. I'm 25 now, so it's been quite a while since I've started playing. I've been playing competitive for a very long time. Starting back in amateur, maybe 20 and maybe in like 2015 or 2016, something pretty early on. From there, I made my competitive career starting on Team Gates, Phoenix One, Echo Fox, Optic, Immortals. So I've been on all sorts of different teams, and now I've found my way back to amateur, and I have started the Zoos Gaming cult of the Toilet Paper Cats, which last season we did pretty well with a roster of myself, Raheen, Rhino, RBM, and Dark Wings. We've all made our way to some separate teams, but we have kept Pocket Rhino and Raheen on the roster. And in addition, we have added Tuesday and Wiggly, which are some veterans in particular who have played on CLG for a very long time. And so here at Zeus Gaming, we've got a little mix of the new, a little mix of the old, and trying to make our way to the finals of Proving Grounds.
Absolutely. I learned a really fun fact today that maybe I'm a little late to know that Zeus Gaming is actually named after your very iconic LCS superstar of a cat. I thought that was
Correct.
super, super cute. I remember when I was watching the LCS and I saw Zeus pop up on the screen, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's a cat. Um,
Yeah, she likes to make her presence known.
yeah, she's an icon. I love it. So, you've been in a bunch of different league scenes, amateur, academy, LCS. Where do you think, from the amateur scene, where do you think, I suppose, the scene is making the greatest contribution to North America?
Well, the best change they've done in a long time when it comes to amateur is actually there are two changes. The At the very beginning of amateur, way long ago, there was something you'd compete in called the North American Open Qualifier, which if you won that, you would go on to play in the North American Challenger Series, which was 6 teams. So there really weren't that many slots open for the league below the LCS, and on top of that, you had to play in this one tournament, and if you didn't make it there, then try again next time, and it's going to be another 6 months until you can do so. So back then, it was really difficult to make your break in the scene because in these North American Open qualifiers, there were always some kind of super team with veterans or just stacked teams that you could almost never get past if they were taking it seriously. So I like this current system that combines the academy and the amateur scene because even if you're not necessarily at the top of amateur, you get to have the chance to play against the academy teams through the Proving Ground circuit, and it's what the top 8 amateur teams in the points get to go to Proving Grounds. So even if you're not the best of the best in amateur, you can at least make your way into the tournament and from there show your improvement. So overall, there's a lot more light to be shown on the newest players and what everyone can do.
Yeah, I really, really love the additional visibility that this format has brought to the scene, especially from the audience perspective, getting a consistent idea of what's going on and what it looks like as well. Um, so, just kind of a fun question. Um, there have been quite a few major roster swaps and benching situations in the LCS. We've got Alfari benched, Sligo to Academy, Sven to Academy, and most recently Dardoch benched. If you had to reverse only one of these changes, if you were the coach and you could only reverse one of them and the rest had to permanently stay, which one would you reverse and why?
Um, it's a tough question. Just one. Because I think if I had to choose, it would be one of the Dignitas changes because C9 and TL are already pretty set to go to playoffs, so they can take these kind of risks and not have such a big risk of not making it to playoffs. While Dignitas, on the other hand, are while they're on the upper half, they're not set and I'd say they have a little bit more problems than a team like TL and C9. So if I had to give an answer, I'd probably say Dardoch because he's what made their team the most unique out of the teams in the LCS, and he brought a lot in terms of drafting and champion pool toward what the enemy team would think they drafted. He's always kind of a wild card in that situation. That being said, it felt like they were doing much better with Dardoch Saligo. So obviously, while we don't know the background of it, I've never been a big fan of random swaps in the middle of the split that I've been a part of so many times during my career in Optic and Immortals. So you'll never catch me being in support of these random swaps. But my final answer would be, get Dardoch back in there, and then let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I love that answer. I think that's not what I expected. I think like as somebody who just enjoys the LCS and is a fan, I love watching Alfari play, watching Sven play. So I think you offered a really unique perspective to that question that I don't think I necessarily anticipated. So that was great. Thank you.
Of course.
Um, and so your summoner name is Allorim. Has it always been Allorim? Has you kind of changed over your very long history in League?
In League of Legends, I've always been Allorim, but if you're talking about like way back, like elementary school and all that, I've gone by different stuff, but ever since I started playing World of Warcraft, which was in middle school, I made up the name Allorim, and then from there it's just my name for all the games.
Yeah, so you just thought it kind of sounded cool.
I I made a Tauren warrior because I was complaining about how bad tanks were, and then my brother said I couldn't do better. So I made a Tauren warrior, and I thought Allorum sounded like a Tauren warrior, and that's all there was to it. It was just, made up fantasy name.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't think middle school me would have made up a such a cool summoner name. It probably would have been terrible. So I'm glad it's been able to stick around all these years. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I'll let you get out of here. Thank you so much for talking with me, and best of luck in the tournament.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.